Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Cold War AK and why I think it might just be one of the best mid-range ARs in the entire game and why it's also one of the best sniper supports around. I love this thing. I was using it before they buffed it, but after the fact that they nerfed the FFAR and then they went and buffed the recoil and made some certain attachments better on the Cold War guns, this thing is top tier. I'm going to have a time to kill chart at about 55 seconds, a minute, maybe a minute 5. So you can skip to that if you just want to get into it. I'm going to be breaking down the attachments I use later on. I'm going to be going over how to control the recoil. And I'm also going to be going over the snipers you should be pairing it with because I'm not sure it should be used with every type of sniper. I really think this favors more aggressive snipers, but we'll get into that later. I also just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to everyone who watches these videos. You don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. I just want to say thank you for watching. If you do want to see videos like this or coaching videos, in-depth things, keep an eye on my channel. But as I said, you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. Just keep an eye on the channel if you feel like it. So now guys, let's get into it. So there's going to be two time to kill charts. One is going to be comparing it to the Amax and the Ram 7 right now, as you're going to see. So the orange is going to be the Cold War AK, the blue is going to be the Amax, the purple is going to be the Ram 7, and the green is going to be the XM4. So as you can see, the Cold War AK up close, up until about 45 meters, or 35 meters I mean, is only bested by the Amax. I'm going to have a second time to kill chart, guys, which is going to compare the AK47 to the best SMGs I think right now in the game, and you're going to notice something, that this gun is amazing. I legitimately think that it is being absolutely slept on because in the mid-range and in the close range, it competes with almost all of the meta guns right now. From the Ram 7 Amax to the Cold War MP5 to the Mac 10 to the Modern Warfare MP5 to the Bullfrog, it competes with all of them. And not only that, it complements your sniper extremely well, better than almost any gun in the game. Because the one thing that most sniper supports lack is an extremely competitive time to kill up close. And this is what this has. After I kill this guy in the zipline, I'm pulling up the SMG time to kill chart to show you guys what I mean. So the orange is once again the AK-47. The purple is going to be the Cold War MP5. The green is going to be the Bullfrog. And the blue is going to be the Mac 10. And it speaks for itself. Only the Cold War MP5 is as good or better than the AK-47 up close. And that should speak volumes because the Ram 7 and the XM4, if we were to compare the mid-range charts and that chart, would be nowhere close to those other SMGs. And if I put too many guns on the chart, it gets too messy, it gets too confusing. So I just like to keep it clean, only 4 to 5 guns max. But my point is, if you really look at the time to kill at 0.5 seconds and compare it to the SMGs, to whatever, it is amazing. And there are very few sniper supports that provide the type of mobility that this has with the mid-range and close-range power. Not only that, the only issue this gun really has, because it has solid mag size, it has good damage up close and in the mid-range, is the fact that it has very high recoil. And a lot of people may struggle with the recoil. But one thing, guys, is in Warzone, recoil is predictive. And so what I mean by that is you can practice your recoil by going into a plunder or a private game and shooting the wall and then reversing the pattern of that on the recoil that you see with your mouse or your right thumbstick, whether you're using controller, mouse, and keyboard. And I know that seems kind of hard, and a lot of it I do just based off of feel. I just take a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. You just got to use a gun for a good bit to really get a good feel. It wasn't something, I don't really go into private match and practice it, but for some people, it has really helped that I've played with. So it's something I'd recommend to try if you feel like you're struggling with the recoil in this gun. The way that I build it is I love the GRU Suppressor. Even with the other suppressor changes, I have the 45 round speed mags, a red dot sight, because I think the red dot sight is almost key on this thing. I love the iron sights, I love the 2x, but I swear by the red dot sight. I use the last stock because it just helps with your sprint to fire time, which I think is absolutely massive. And then I use the last barrel, and that's kind of wild to some people because it really does kind of add, I don't know, a certain feel to the gun. but it makes it powerful and it makes it the perfect support class in my opinion. There have been some variations that I've tried. I have actually switched off the barrel for a grip, and that build is also something I am really loving, and I would really recommend trying to a lot of people. So maybe take off that last barrel. I used the very last one, and I'd maybe use a grip. As you heard me mention earlier, I do think that you should use this with more aggressive snipers. And I don't necessarily mean like all quote unquote aggressive snipers. I just think that if you're a sniper that really is good with like the HDR or the super long range Tundra and ZRG variant, I would not necessarily recommend running the Cold War AK, as I'm not sure it's going to match that type of play style. I think something like the Ram 7 or the XM4 would be a lot better for that style of play. I do think if you're a little more aggressive and you like to run the 4 times or 3 times sights and quick ADS attachments on your Cold War snipers or your Kar 98, then I would really recommend trying out the AK. I've been going through a lot of sniper supports. I really like the SMGs right now, running with the sniper, because I just think the SMGs are so good up close. But the fact that the Amax, AS Val, and the Cold War AK have time to kills that are essentially on par or better than almost all of the SMGs up close does speak volumes. Now, the Amax does have issues up close, and the AS Val is obviously hampered by the lack of, anything more than a 30-round mag. But the Cold War is kind of the perfect balance. The damage is not as much as the Amax or the AS Val, but it has way better mag size, it has way better damage in the mid-range, and I just feel that the mobility it offers and the way that it handles and feels up close is just almost superior to the Ram 7, to the Amax, to whatever. Now, it's not the best. It has a lot of flaws. There are times where if you're not hitting upper chest, if you're not hitting headshots, the time to kill can drop if you're hitting stomach and limbs. But I do think overall it is easily one of the best guns in the game right now. I don't think it should be slept on. I think right now you got to really use guns that highlight our strengths to your playstyle. I think a lot of people do themselves a disservice by not understanding what they're good at in Warzone and not understanding that certain classes and certain guns are going to really help them. I'm a really aggressive player, but I get myself in situations where the only way out is a sniper. Long range ARs often leave me in situations where I'm helpless. But because I'm such an aggressive player, long-range ARs such as the Krig or the GRU or whatever can also be used up close and in the mid-range a little more effectively than sniping sometimes. When you're an aggressive sniper, you can easily be outgunned by someone with a kilo or something and have to waste your plates and you have to reposition and whatever. So, for me, it is key that I use guns like the Cold War AK or other variations, because that's just going to be some of the whole point of my playstyle. It's going to be a massive strength to my playstyle. Anyways, guys, I'm getting ready to wrap this video up. You're going to see me end it with almost hitting a 720. I almost hit it. This is going to end out. I know this is Eddie's a little drawn out, but I just wanted to have time to fit in everything I wanted to say. Just want to say thank you guys for watching. I am going to get back to streaming very soon. Sorry for the break. My internet's just been struggling a little bit, whatever. Once again, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. You don't have to subscribe. I just want to say thank you for watching. Peace.